We are now live.
All right.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians Podcast, episode 373. Tonight, I am joined with Jared Schneiderman.
Hello.
Alex Schlegel.
Hey, everybody.
And Extremist Bab.
Hello.
So what's up, guys? We're doing a special Monday episode.
It's mayhem.
Yeah. We're now rivaling. We're broadcasting next to Break the Cycle by Josh Smith. He's going live tonight too. So I appreciate you checking us out over him.
The obvious.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, we've got at least 4 followers compared to his 2. So I feel like
he's got a lot more than that. I think he's creeping up there. But I appreciate you guys checking us out tonight. Holy shit, we got a whole lot of Kenosha talk tonight. So hopefully this podcast is probably gonna be demonetized if we ever were monetized to begin with.
Is that what we call our Patreon? Is that monetization or is that just like a charity?
Yeah, that's charity. That's just charity. Like, oh, you guys are trying to do a pot. That's cute. Here's $1. But yeah, so I was hanging out with Alex.
Patreon.com/punkrockliberaTarians.
There you go. And I was hanging out with Alex past 2 nights I've been hanging out with Alex. But
Wow.
Me and him got really drunk at the bar.
Wow.
It was quite
You guys
fun.
touch each other?
No. It was my wife was there, his girlfriend was there, my kids were there. There was no touching.
Okay. No touching. Good.
We went to like this local
6 feet of distance.
This local redneck new metal bar.
What? Redneck new metal bar?
Yeah.
Was it like Kid Rock's car? Rock's bar?
Yes, there was. Okay, so there was literally a guy sitting at the table next to us. He had a black leather cowboy hat, a black leather trench coat, and he was wearing a Godsmack shirt. And he was must have been 60 years old.
Wow.
And I was like, oh boy,
What's
I've never
the name
been
of this
here.
bar?
Fishhead Cantina.
Fishhead. It's pretty random. It's a pretty random place, but they have good food. Good food. They got good beers on tap. So we're just trying to find a place just to watch sports ball and get brunch because we were a little hungover on Sunday.
Yeah, we made drunken plans to hang out. Or actually, I'll just say this. You texted me at 3:47 in the morning saying, brunch tomorrow?
Wow.
So I woke up and I was like, oh, yeah, I guess we can do that. I gotta run some errands first. And then you texted at 11:30 and was like, oh, dude, sorry, I just got up. I was like, I had thought that this was just
that is brunch time, though.
Well,
Yeah.
Perfect.
yeah, it's the unch part of brunch, right? It's it's not so much the breakfast, but you're into the lunch,
Yeah.
And that can be 3 p.m. as far as I'm concerned.
So what was going on Saturday night? Was there some sort of Mises event or something?
It was just the Baltimore County Libertarians, meeting.
Nice.
We had that. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
We hung out and just you guys stayed out pretty later than I did.
Yeah. Well, Tim and David came up. We watched Chappelle. Have you guys watched it yet? Jared, have you watched the Chappelle special?
I haven't yet. No.
That's funny as hell.
Okay, so one half we gotta watch it. That's your homework assignment. We gotta talk about it because it's so good. So that that was about it. But yeah, it was a Saturday night Libertarian Baltimore County meeting. So yeah, the beer was flowing. Good, it was a good turnout.
Nice.
So yeah, it was cool.
And that just led to more drunkenness on Sunday. We were watching the football games, and just my God, I was just fucking. And then we went to the liquor store afterwards after we left, and we just kept drinking more because I knew we weren't going to do the podcast because you had texted me. I saw your text messages saying like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it tonight. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm just gonna keop this drinking going, and that's what we did. And man, it was.
Glad I could contribute to your alcoholism.
Yes, you did.
Or what they call enabling.
Where'd you go, Jared? You were out of town.
I was out of town. I was at my brother's wedding in Arizona.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
Whereabouts?
Yeah, out in Scottsdale. It's nice.
Did you fly out?
Yes.
How was that?
Miserable, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what was your
skip
flying
your brother's
experience?
wedding? Like, sorry, that's just. I love you, brother, but I don't know.
What was your flying experience like?
Well, the TSA actually pulled my fiance aside and like gave her the pat down, which she found to be very like violating and uncomfortable.
Did you have to defend her honor?
I mean, unfortunately, it was done before I could even like do anything. I kind of got separated from her in line, and she was already through it by the time I got through, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like it wasn't like she had anything in her pocket. It's not that would justify it, of course, but like didn't like forget something in her pocket. Didn't like have anything weird in her bag. Like just.
Would you consider her to be an attractive female?
Yes, I would.
Well, that's one of the signs they look for of potential terrorism.
Yes.
So
True.
That
Although
also
it was a female agent. Although she could have been lesbian. She could have been lesbian. I don't know.
You know what? Nobody knows what gender is anymore.
There's
so
like there's a couple
really
hundred
relevant.
now.
And I mean, the other big thing they look for, of course, is gold, iPads.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry she had to endure that unpleasant experience.
Yeah, it sucks, but we made it. So, yeah, the flight itself was fine though. Just Southwest standard.
The pilots finally showed up to work, I guess, because they backed off the mandate, right? Or no, they backed off unpaid leave or something. Did Southwest really defend the pilots, or just kind of barely?
I think their union did. The pilots union did, but Southwest was.
Yeah, I don't know. They asked me to fly, but I was like, I don't know, dude. It's like I've already had 4 drinks. It's probably not a good idea.
I'd give it a try. I mean,
why not?
I mean, it's basically run this podcast.
Accidental 9/11 part 2, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you can run the podcast. How hard could a plane be?
Right.
That's true. That's true.
Would you and your buddies be dancing on a rooftop as it was happening?
Hey,
I was listening to a podcast and they were saying like to avoid flying, because remember it was American Airlines just last month, but it happened at the end of the month because they say like it's something a pilot can't fly over per FAA. They can only fly 100 hours a month, and then they can't exceed 1,000. So if that's just any flight crew, and so if their staff is short due to the vax mandate, so they're saying at the end of the month, that's when they're running into scheduling issues. So word of advice, try not to avoid flying maybe at the end of the month or the first couple of days.
What happens if they hit the hours? Do they have to like jump out of the plane?
Well, no. I mean, I get
they just pull over. They just have to pull over and take a nap.
Yeah, like a truck driver.
The old air stop.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing where when you just mandate that they have to get this jab, they don't understand like how much that's going to affect scheduling and how much that's going to interfere with already rules and mandates that are set on the airline industry. So
are you guys concerned about just sort of this mandate culture that now that just like permeates everything? It's like mandate this, mandate that, mask mandates, vax mandates, this new all these new mandates in that new spending bill. Like everything's a mandate. They're just like mandate happy. They're like, we're in. Start ordering people to do stuff. People seem to be getting used to it. That's what I'm afraid of. They're just getting used to this receiving orders about their day-to-day lives, and they're going to forget that we could actually think for ourselves at one point.
Well, did they put a January 4th, I believe, is what the deadline for companies 100 or more employees?
Oh, that just got blocked.
That's being put. Yeah, a lot of
Reason just put out an article today saying that like it was like a. That was the one thing I was looking for. Reason put out an article today saying that like even more than what was done before about how they put the temporary stay on that like it was like a panel of like 3 Supreme Court judges or something along. Oh man, sorry, I should have been
probably
more prepared.
circuit court judges, probably the lower court, not the. like lower.
But does it even matter?
Here we go. A unanimous 3-judge panel concludes that the decree grossly exceeds OSHA's statutory authority. Extending its stay, the Fifth Circuit Court says OSHA's vaccine mandate is fatally flawed.
So what are they going to do when they continue to go forward with this, with this mandate?
Biden already said, like, just keep going. Like, I don't give a shit what they say. Yeah, just keep going.
Isn't that kind of what they're doing? Like, whatever. Like, we're just doing it.
Yeah. There's no, like, they don't care. They're like, oh, that's cute. Fuck you. Like,
and how many of the corporations are going to be like, hey, we're executive branch, we're going to ignore you and recognize this other branch, the one that doesn't have any guns and the one that can't take away our license. I mean, I don't know. Good luck. Good luck, world. I mean, companies, if you're listening to the government about who you should fire and, based on their medical choices, you've already lost, right? So,
yeah,
I like there's companies out there that have refused to participate in this, and however it goes, if you got a job, work for one of those companies. Find a company that's willing to say hell no, because there's more mandates coming. Right. There's going to be more instructions, and it's not just going to be vaccines either. It's going to be who knows what other like social things it could be. Weird social engineering mandates coming through your employer. I mean, God only knows what they'll dream up with. Like you give them one thing and it's just leads to the next. So,
well, I mean, they used to be less, I guess, obvious about it, but with like the I forget what the hell it's called, but like the employments, like you have to employ X amount of like diversity hires, or you have to, equal opportunity employment. That's essentially a mandate, right?
All kinds of mandates. They're already been subjected to, but then now I feel like there's no limit. They're like, okay, now make sure your people are injected with this product. Next thing you know, it's going to be, we're doing climate change mandates, right?
Yep.
And which of course they already have in many industries, like automotives and whatnot, but they might just start saying, well, you're going to have to leave 1/4 of your workforce is going to have to stay home every Wednesday for climate change. It's a mandate, right? Who's going to stop them from doing that? Like, no, only essential workers, for climate change.
I mean, that's common. A lot of what was that COP22, that UN summit in Scotland, and you hear some of these tyrants and everything they're conjuring up when it comes to climate change. And it's so they switch, they're turning quick from they're pivoting real quick from COVID to climate change. The narrative is it's climate change now. So,
yeah,
it's called intersectional fear mongering, right?
Yeah, intersectional fear mongering.
Oh, that's great. Sad, but it's not. Yeah,
it's not too far off. It's sad.
We're gonna get now that you're scared about one thing. Did you know there's another thing to be scared of? That's right.
Yeah. Right. We locked you down. We locked you down for a virus. Now we could use these tactics for climate change.
It's like you are the carbon they want to eliminate.
Yep.
Right. It's true. I mean, how excited? They're excited about high gasoline prices. That gives them a boner. I mean, the fact that people can't afford to get to work or to visit their mom. Well,
I saw somewhere in California hitting $8 a gallon, and
other parts of the world have seen that for a long time with like extreme taxes in Europe and things like that. That's like, and it has huge ramifications. People end up driving shitty, tiny little cars instead of big, safe cars for their family. They focus on, super efficiency over safety. They do without cars. They drive older, unreliable cars. Older cars are less safe. So like, I'm just going to have to keep this old car going because I can't afford, a newer car. And anyway, there's so many consequences. You know what? If you're in California, just get out. Just get out.
Yeah, I don't see anybody can afford that.
I have a friend who's experimenting with making his own biofuels. Now, I think this is a level of like prepper that's kind of advanced. But he's got a still, and he's making ethanol biofuels. Wow. So at least experimenting with it, and seems to be, the initial run was seems to be very good, possibly even like drinkable quality. But I'm not going to be the tester on that.
Yeah.
Is he using this in his vehicle, in his like car?
Well, it's for gasoline engines.
Yeah.
I don't know about a car engine, but maybe like a 2-cycle engine or something. Or I'm not sure.
Like a weed whacker or something.
I'm not positive. But it's definitely headed to where you probably could end up running a car on something like that in a post-apocalyptic world. But like Mad Max,
Yeah.
What's funny? This is completely random, but according to Disclosed TV on Twitter, the Wyoming Republican Party votes 31-29 to stop recognizing Liz Cheney as a member of the GOP.
Nice.
Michael Malice just posted a picture, and it says picture taken of the exact moment she heard the news, and underneath is a picture of Miss Piggy.
Oh, why does Miss Piggy get abused like that? That's terrible to compare her to a real monster like that.
Wait, so who voted on this?
The Wyoming GOP.
Because that's where she's
Wow.
from. She's a
Well, why are they
congresswoman.
suddenly anti-Cheney? Did the money dry up or something, or like what happened?
I don't know.
Is she?
Oh, God.
Wait, what is she? Is she just? Does she hold a position, or is she just like?
Yeah, she's a congresswoman, the old
Is
Dick
she?
Cheney's daughter, who's
Yeah.
she's a sitting congresswoman, and she's like very adamant about January 6th being the worst thing since 9/11, the Holocaust, and everything else. And she's pushing for this panel on January 6th. So, and she's totally out of touch with her base to begin with. I mean, she's a neocon, just like her. Who shot him in the duck hunting incident? What a terrible shot. But I digress. But but yeah, so I don't know. I think it's just the Republican Party just grifting, because it is kind of driving into work sometimes. I catch there's the right wing station, and then you have the moderate station, and then you flip over to NPR to get your progressive bullshit. But even like the Republican news AM station that used to be super neocon maybe 10 years ago are completely writing people off like Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney, and just kind of writing off neocons. And it's just the grift of the Republican Party just constantly I don't know. It's like, because she's like a never Trumper too, and that's the other thing. So
Obviously she's got connections to the deep state. I think we can all just sort of
because clearly it's like she's not in touch with,
because the Republicans seem to be moving into like that Steve Bannon kind of phase or whatever. Apparently he just got indicted.
What happened to him? What was he indicted for?
Who knows? Who cares? Probably something bullshit.
He turned. It is bullshit. He turned himself in on contempt of Congress charges.
That's
definitely not a real crime.
Can you just imagine contempt of Congress on your resume? Like,
I mean,
wow.
don't we all hold Congress in contempt here?
Totally. I mean, like, to have them recognize that you hold them in utter contempt.
Oh man,
it's
only that guy wasn't a total fucking statist nationalist piece of shit. That'd be
right.
cool.
Well, like
it's all January 6th related, Kurt. I think it's all.
Is it?
I saw one of the weirdest leftist memes concerning January 6th. Okay, now tell me if this makes any sense. It says, if a mob of Muslims attacked the Capitol, we would have already bombed an Arab country that had nothing to do with it. Okay, do you follow that? They're saying like, hey, if Muslims had done what these rioters had done, like, the government would have already bombed another Muslim, like an innocent country, right?
Right.
So the premise is, it's like, how, like, this organization that's out there bombing innocent countries, right, must be defended from this unruly core group, right? Like, imagine this organization's out there like mass murdering, and then you're like saying like, "But we have to defend them. We're going to defend their honor," right? And acting like like, I mean, if the government is doing what they're saying it's doing, shouldn't you be storming the Capitol even more? Like,
Exactly.
Right.
it's like a self-detonating logic meme. Like the premise of the meme negates itself. Like,
Was this coming from a blue check?
it's
on
coming
Twitter?
from Occupy Democrats Facebook group, which is
Oh.
one of the lowest tier shills for. It's kind of neat to see their material, just so you know exactly how low they're going to go.
That Occupy Democrat meme makes my brain hurt. Yeah, that is correct, Nicholas. Yeah, but I have been trolling blue checks on Twitter.
You got us banned
nonstop, and that probably led to us getting our Maryland Mises Twitter page, where we caught some flack. Out of how much time we have? You filed an appeal.
Well,
correct?
I filed the appeal. They'll probably deny it, but I wasn't gonna let this go because it was you literally just responded to WJZ, like
This is
stupid
a local
fucking thing.
What is it?
And you're like,
CBS affiliate.
You just said that was self-defense. Kyle did nothing wrong, and that's all it took. That's all it took.
That's
That's
a
all I
lot of
said.
people have been flagged for that.
And they said that they came back saying it glorified violence, and it was a news report about the Rittenhour case, or what's your opinion on it, or whatever, just soliciting their stupid Twitter feed.
What was the name of that cop that choked put his knee on that guy and killed him in front of everybody? Chauvin. Yeah. What if you said
Chauvin, right?
Yeah, what if you said Chauvin did nothing wrong? Would you get banned for that?
Probably.
Well, yeah. Well, who knows? But then the thing was, glorifying violence. I'm like, what the fuck? Get the hell out of here.
I mean, what if you're defending? I mean, like, isn't Veterans Day kind of that? I mean,
Yeah, we should be. Yeah, all this be. Yeah, everyone posting the American flag on Veterans Day should be flagged and thrown in Facebook jail for inciting violence.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I guess you're allowed to defend an imaginary area with borders, but you can't defend like your own like physical body.
No.
That's kind of where the logic goes there.
That's what happened. And it's funny. It's some dude, Alex, Mitch Tolan sent me this, and it's a link to some blue check mark, just disgraceful. He posted, employers, consider giving your black employees, capital B black employees, a day or two off after the Rittenhouse verdict. Regardless of the outcome, it's going to be hard for capital B black people to work, and isn't fair to expect them to.
He does realize that there were no black people involved in the entire situation.
How are black people involved in this?
Guys, take a wild guess. I clicked on his profile. What do you think I found?
Blue check.
He's retarded.
Well, yes. And what do you first thing in his profile? What do you think the first thing?
BLM.
Profile. Genders.
Yep, there you go. He, him. That was the first thing I clicked on.
And math.
And then it says BLM, and then it has a black fist, and then it has maybe
it has a heart. It has a heart next to his whatever baby mama, and it says, he's the vice chair of the Oregon Democratic Black Caucus.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Also former chair of the Atlanta Democratic DSA. Okay. Yeah.
I'm still not sure how black people are involved in this case.
So Zuby, you guys know the rapper Zuby?
Yeah.
Right. He responded to it's a picture of Peter Griffin holding with a crown and a scepter, and it says he has a sash over himself that says "King of the Black People." He says, "How you probably felt after tweeting this."
So this guy is a white guy?
I know. No, he's a person of color. His wife has shaved head though.
Jared, I posted I posted in our chat here the supercut. This was on Pete Quinones' Substack today, and it's a supercut of all the mainstream media in the past year regarding the Rittenhouse trial. And I think it was Glenn Greenwald the other day. He tweeted out, it was a thread, but he's like, this is what corporate media will do to your brain. And literally it was this progressive lefty leaning woman who basically said, I just started she was watching the actual trial. She said I was unaware that it was all white people involved.
She's from the Young
corporate
Turks.
media.
She's from the Young Turks.
Her too.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, what's her name?
what the fuck like you guys have it's really pathetic so the narrative. So this was just a supercut of just how, if you listen to this corporate media, how it breaks people's brains. And because
this one here,
it might be, yeah. I don't know if
shooter, Kyle Rittenhouse, he murdered 2 people, by the way.
Rittenhouse is basically what you would have had in a school shooter. He's a 17-year-old kid. He shouldn't have had a gun. He crossed state lines to supposedly protect property. No, he was going out to shoot people.
Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old vigilante.
Kyle Rittenhouse, a vigilante.
Kyle Rittenhouse, the armed teenage vigilante.
A 17-year-old vigilante, arguably a domestic terrorist, picked up a rifle, drove to a different state to shoot
you're on
people.
mute.
Rittenhouse, a guy who's deeply racist, went with weapons to a Black Lives Matter protest.
I hope he's
in trouble.
the
He
crap out of these
murdered a
people.
couple of people.
I mean,
Rittenhouse,
sue them all.
The
Hundreds of
17-year-old
millions.
kid just running around, shooting and killing protesters.
Around
You see
shooting,
a 17-year-old who was radicalized by Trumpism, took his AR-15 to Kenosha and became a
Trumpism. It's a Trump thing.
Trump supporting, MAGA loving, Blue Lives Matter social media partisan. 17 years old, picks up a gun, drives from one state to another with the intent to shoot people.
A 17-year-old boy who drove across state lines with an AR-15.
Oh, dude.
And
does anyone have the state line supercut? Where everyone's like, he crossed state lines, he crossed state lines, he crossed state lines, as if like that, as if that has any bearing on like your right to self-defense.
It's so funny, like when you have LOL libertarians that are for open borders that are like, well, Rittenhouse crossed state lines. It's like, oh my god. It's
like, I just changed my name. I just changed my name in support of
Four Doors. What is that?
That's Kyle Rittenhouse's what was it, his social media, his Instagram or something,
or TikTok.
There's TikTok,
really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was 4 doors, 4 whores.
Oh my god.
But
so all right, so I need to say this about, like, I absolutely fucking need to go off on this.
Okay.
I don't know how any self-respecting property rights individual doesn't look at this scenario and just fuck all the background. What had happened was, like, we talked about this. He was people were trying to kill him. I don't care. Like, he had a gun. He did everything he could to avoid shooting people until they forced him to where he was backed into a corner, metaphorically and actuality. Like, I don't get it. People will say, "Oh, well, fuck him. He's a bootlicking whatever." Okay, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. The law doesn't care. Like, our rights doesn't matter what we believe in. You know, what we're a fan of, what team we're a part of. He was carrying a gun, open carrying a gun, and people attacked him, and he used it to defend himself. At the point where a person had a gun pointed at his head, and he still didn't shoot it until he pointed at his head. The guy had a gun in his hand. He put his hands up. The dude is now he's a lefty, but now he's a righty. Got his arm blown off.
Yeah,
like, literally.
He's both armed and unarmed at the same time.
So, like, I don't understand these fucking stupid ass libertarians who talk about property rights. Like, no, they can't get over the fact, he supported cops. Who?
Because they're not libertarians. They're not principled libertarians.
They're
tribalists.
They're trying to signal to their liberal friends.
Yes.
They're just
whatever. Who cares? The thing about this is it's part of the Let's Go Brandon sort of era, right? This phoniness where our senses see one thing and they're perfectly happy to look you in the face and tell you another thing, right?
Yep.
Like,
that's exactly what this is.
They don't care that you can watch the video. They don't care that it's obviously self-defense. They don't care that the people that were attacking him brutally and had almost killed him was a child rapist and like a woman strangler and some
skater guy,
total scumbags.
That means nothing to me. I don't care if these were fucking Mormons. I don't give a shit who the fuck they were. It's their actions is what led to their death and their
exactly.
maiming.
But
I don't give a fuck who they are.
They're already making saints out of these people.
There's murals. People drew murals of these guys saying that they were heroes of the Black Lives Matter. No, they weren't. They were scumbags.
Right. They're gonna say, like, look, obviously people can use their own senses and tell that these are some just awful scumbags, have no interest in Black lives, have no interest in any lives. They're just out for their own criminal interests, and they were just scumbags, and some kid happened to stop some of them, right, and gets vilified in this like insane national PR campaign that just defies the senses. It just defies it. It's like saying, like, no, that's not inflation, that's deflation.
Right.
Like they just look at you with a straight face and just keep repeating it, and then like everybody repeats it, and
safe and effective.
They all saw it.
Safe
and so
and
I don't believe these people. Even they're coming out now, I think they're just trying to save face. So the chick from the Young Turks, she was the first girl you heard in that video. She came out and said, "Oh, I was under the impression that he was chasing after black people with guns and shooting them, and that the people," or something along those lines. Like, no, you didn't, bitch. No,
I was under the impression. Are you not a journalist? Like, dude, we sat here on this
Watch
podcast.
The video.
We sat here on this podcast, like, whenever this happened, like 4 months ago or whatever it was, 6 months. I don't even know anymore.
Dude, this was August 2020.
Holy fuck. Okay. Last year, we were sitting on this podcast and we were like watching the video, like watching all these different angles that people had sewn together of this video. It wasn't hard to find this video. This wasn't on like, the fucking dark web. It was on YouTube.
We knew immediately it was self-defense. Even at first, when I first heard the story, I thought, oh, this is probably some dumb kid shouldn't have been there. But then as soon as I learned the facts, I was like, oh no, this guy is just he crossed state lines, which was like traveling like 10 miles to where his dad
my
lived.
God. The fact that there's so many fucking people who are like, okay, if normies want to say that, that's fine, because they're dumb, they're stupid, they should need to be educated on gun rights, whatever. But no. People who pretend to be a gun, freedom, property rights people are sitting there saying that he crossed this imaginary line when his father lived in Kenosha, his cousins,
well, I mean, are you a bordertarian or are you not a bordertarian?
Right.
But the whole idea,
but
it's all part of the narrative that this guy he's not even from here.
Right.
He's from out there. And he just obviously came all the way over here to look for some trouble. Like, he thought there was going to be some black people he could shoot. So he came all the way across state lines from out of state. Like,
right.
Whoa.
Because okay. And so people are like, well, what about Garrett Foster? Dude, I vehemently defended Garrett Foster, and I'll still do that.
Which one was Garrett Foster?
He was the guy who was open carrying at the BLM protest. He had his gun in low ready in a car with people were in a crosswalk. They were walking in a crosswalk. I don't care.
And he approached the car, right?
He approached the car with his AR-15 low ready, not pointing at anybody. And so he approached the car and got shot and killed.
Yeah.
And he was guilty of making a stupid fucking comment of saying, fuck around and find out, beforehand to people and whatever they were interviewing him. It's stupid. He was guilty of opium carrying. That's what he was guilty of. If I saw a cop approach me with a gun, am I just allowed to shoot him? No. I go straight to jail. But somehow, and the same stupid, okay, and there's also a bunch of right libertarians who they say the dumb bullshit about Garrett Foster. Well, I don't know, Spike Cohen defended Garrett Foster, but he didn't defend. No, fuck you. No, it's about the facts remain. The facts are he was open carrying a gun and approached a vehicle that was trying to run into an intersection. That's what he was like, and he walked up to the car. It doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. A guy walked up to a car pointing his gun down at the ground. I'm sorry.
You really can't compromise on this stuff.
Those people are going to attack him because they're signaling to their base, right? Their base is like, BLM is bad, BLM protests bad, anyone leftist bad. Like, yeah, it's called not having principles. It's called being a tribalist. Right. It's what it is.
Oh my God, right. I don't give a shit what he believed in. Well, his actions alone stated he was not warranted of a death sentence. Neither was Kyle Rittenhouse. He was there. If that was my kid, never be allowed to go. Never in a million years would I let my kid go to that. But it doesn't matter. He was there with a gun. He was there. He was there, and he had the most fucking trigger discipline I've ever seen out of anyone who was about to be murdered, because that's what they were trying to do. When Rosenbaum throw his, like, it looked like it was a brick in a bag, but apparently it was just like a chain that he had. He threw it at his head and cornered him in between two cars and grabbed his gun. You don't think for 1 second that he was going to take it away from him and try to shoot him with it or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He was pinned in between two cars, and Kyle just lit him up. Shot him right in the dick.
So senses are clear. We all know, like, anybody that looks into the facts, even just for 5 minutes, can instantly make this determination. But yet we got this big narrative, like, constructed and pushed out hard on the designated channels. Did you see the one where it was the same tweet from all the celebrities that said, I want to live in a world where Colin Kirkpatrick is a hero and Kyle Rittenhouse is a terrorist?
It was like 30 different people posted the same tweet.
All these different celebrities.
Like, NPC, signal received.
Right. And one of them was George Takei, and one of them was LeVar Burton.
What?
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, fucking Reading Rainbow, Geordie LaForge. Right?
Like, look, they're all probably being run by the same fucking handle. Right. Like all those accounts.
Exactly. I'm just how much do you think, if you're a Hollywood celebrity, do you think they just reach out to you and be like, hey, we'll pay you this to manage your, to just run your account, you know? I mean,
I know. And
it's totally what happens. I know that for a fact. Content. I know that for a fact with Takai. Like he has like a whole team that runs his social media. Like I don't even think
those people.
The guy's like 98.
Right. The stuff they post is so retarded too on the George Takei's feed. It's like, really, like, even he's not that dumb. I mean, he's an old communist or whatever, but.
Man, I got so fired up over this shit because they're still, after all this evidence comes out, where the case is falling apart. I mean, it's literally falling apart. And this,
but Otto, it's the judge's fault, right? The judge is a Trumper because he has "God Bless America" as his ringtone. Which means you're automatically a Trumper.
That's the song. Oh, is that the song?
His ringtone went off, and it was like "God Bless America." And they're like, the judge had a Trump song on his phone. Yeah,
that's funny. I only heard it where they didn't say what song it was. They just said a song known to be played at Trump rallies was used as his ringtone.
Yeah, dude, it was that. It was like one of those fucking, just every judge probably in America has that as their fucking ringtone.
Their propaganda is so thick. They just don't care. It's let's go Brandon every day. Every freaking day. They just lie to your face and laugh about it.
Dude, and he said, apparently he said something a negative about Asians because he was talking about Chinese food. The guy said he liked Chinese food. And he said, I hope it's not waiting on those boats off the coast of California.
Like, and he was talking about how like the container ships have been like backed up for like months.
Right. So that became an anti-Biden joke. Yeah.
No, that was anti-Asian. Like, it's just what the fuck? Like, the corporate press is the enemy of the people.
And they're the enemy of the people.
Right. If you can't see that, if you can't, like, these people who call themselves libertarians, like, you know better, and you're still defending the corporate press. You're still defending CNN. You're still defending
Pfizer,
Pfizer, all of them. Right. They do this shit, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, what? I just want to shake these motherfuckers and be like, get it to your fucking head. This guy did more for gun rights than you will ever do as a libertarian in any position. So fuck off. I don't care. Like, he's innocent. Oh, he literally defended his life, and then you got this piece of shit prosecutor who doesn't know dick from anything. He crossed the line. Right. And you get, like, this prosecutor's literally, he's in the closing statements, he pulls out the same weapon that was used to kill those two people. He points it with his finger on the trigger, points it at the goddamn
Now, what
jury.
is up with this? Now,
he pointed at the fucking jury.
Okay, now I got a question. I got to have an answer a question. Alex, now, when it comes to like gun etiquette, okay, if somebody points a gun at you,
gotta ask.
I don't know. I might not be the person to ask.
Well, you've learned lessons in this field.
Episode.
You've learned lessons in this field, but okay. So just to anyone, if someone points a gun at you, okay, are you justified in disarming that person or physically like defending yourself immediately? Just pointing a gun at you is grounds to immediately shoot that person, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were to point a gun at my head, I would be completely justified at trying to get a shot off first, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, so that could have happened to the prosecutor. Like as soon as he started sweeping the crowd, like the bailiff should have just taken him out. Like,
yeah, I mean, what if this was a fucking Alec Baldwin situation?
Like it's the shooter. Yeah, it's another Alec Baldwin episode.
Those memes are great. He's on the phone. Alec Baldwin's on the phone crying after the shooting, and he's like talking to Kyle, and it says, "Just tell him they were blanks."
What is up with the prosecutor sweeping the crowd with the rifle? How did he even get near the props? Like,
dude, they gave it to him, and his fingers on it, he's pointing it, and I'm like, it was just funny.
Well, you know, he probably was like, well, yeah, if I point this at the jury, it's going to make them very scared of guns, and they're going to immediately know what terror filled the victims of Kyle in this.
No, you're going to immediately know how dumb and murderous cops are, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, dude, are you really gonna,
Yeah, finger on the trigger, just pointing it in all directions at the jury.
I gotta find this. I gotta find a video. Do we have a video of this?
There's no video that I saw, but there's all the still frame pictures of it. Man,
Yeah.
I can't.
Seriously, the next time somebody does that, just take them out. You have to. It's just basic self-defense. There was a guy at Pork Fest a few years ago that had really bad etiquette, and he was sweeping the crowd with his rifle, and he was irresponsible. He left his rifle unattended on a table and like walked away, like really dumb shit, right? Yeah. But like was sweeping the crowd. At one point, he was sweeping the crowd, and people were like, "Shit, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
But like, what I was really thinking is like, like, all right, we have to disarm him. Like,
Yeah.
You can't just let somebody like be that big of a danger in your crowd.
No, 100%. You got to self-police.
Yeah, and you know what? And you think that in that situation, they were, because also the prosecution was saying, why didn't you put your gun down when you ran back to the building through the crowd of people throwing bricks at you and saying they're going to murder you? Why did you bring the gun? That must mean you were looking for trouble. Like, what? Like, no one just seemed like, well, I'm going to set my gun down here. Like, no one does that. Because then you'd be like charged with like negligently like leaving your gun around, like whatever. This is just ridiculous.
Why did you wear a coat? It's like you were looking for cold weather.
Right. Exactly. And god damn it, like, and just still, like, it was one thing when before all the evidence came out and people were just like, well, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And they knee-jerk reaction was like, wow, he didn't even live there and he had to cross a whole state in order to go there. In actuality, it actually was like a 20-minute drive or whatever. Like, this is just so ridiculous. And they're still saying the same things. You fucking right. The libertarians, if you're a libertarian or you're anarchist, whatever, or you're a 2A person and you're against Kyle Rittenhouse, no. Then you're not for guns. You're not for gun. Like, you're just not. You're
not for individual right of self-defense.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just
better put.
You can't really compromise on it, right? There's really no compromise for a libertarian on that issue. There's no way to say like, well, you kind of have a right to defend yourself, but sometimes you don't.
If we like you. Well, if we like you, you have the right.
If you're on the right side of a state line, you have an indefeasible right to defend yourself. No.
I did ask Kyle to come on the podcast tonight, but he couldn't do it.
Kyle Rittenhouse?
Kyle Wagner, our Kyle.
Okay. What's Kyle's position on this? I feel like he was.
Well, he's for.
Kyle's for Kyle.
Yeah, all right. I didn't want to keep talking when I was frozen, but
no, you weren't frozen.
So
he's pro Kyle.
He's pro Kyle, but he's also against Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, who was shooting.
Against Breonna. He's against Breonna Taylor, so he's racist, is what you're saying.
Yeah. He said no. His defense was you're not allowed to shoot at cops. That's
a very Kyle thing to say.
Well, at least he's consistent,
Right to
I mean, if you're going to be
less cops.
Isn't that basically the foundation of being a statist? Is to say that like statists that these people have a right to rule you, and you're not allowed to defend yourself against them. Isn't that basically statism?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So if you're an anarchist, you don't think there's a legitimate right to rule anybody, right? So that would mean that we have a legitimate right to defend ourselves against anyone that's going to attempt to rule us, right? So
at some point, you might have to eat redcoats.
You either are an anarchist and believe in the right of self-defense, or you're a statist and you believe in the right of ultimate self-defense for the state only.
Pretty much. Yeah. But man, it got me all worked up. This past week, I just been there fuming watching these pieces of shit. And it's the same old libertarians too. It's the same old ones who are like, Trump's the greatest threat to national security, and it was an insurrection. It was worse than the Civil War, and blah blah blah.
Did you ever think media would get this ridiculous? I mean, we watched.
This isn't even media though. This is libertarian.
Alleged libertarians.
Well, I guess they're just. I'm just going to say they've been easily swept along in the designated narratives, right? Because these narratives are pushing the major culture shifts. The big tribalism going on, right? Like these people are in the tribalist mentality, so they're going to get bobbed about by it. But I mean the media just seems so much like propaganda. It's just such a blatant degree that I'm just shocked that it's gotten this far. I thought we were going in the opposite direction, where we got the internet and then we got social media, and we were organizing in a sort of decentralized ways and creating new communities on the internet and exchanging new information, and you could get a news feed just based on, not what they want you to see, but based on what you want to see, or like dig rankings.
That's been going away, and all social media has become corporate television news.
Right, and on top of it, this is government schools problem. Like this is government schooling. It's creating an impression on children, young children who are growing up thinking government's always right. And whenever you hear someone saying government's wrong, they're just crazy. They're conspiracy theorists. They're crazy. They might be racist. They're all these bad things, all these bad trigger words. So in your head, as soon as you hear these things, oh, these people are crazy. Where's the Snopes article? I know that Snopes knows the truth. Snopes is absolutely the truth. Dr. Fauci, he's truth. The government, that's what I'm telling you, man. So it's the government schooling that puts this impression in children's heads that, hey, what we're doing is great, and you need to accept anything a cop does. It's great. Unless it can serve us, because we'll let you be radicalized in our little box. We'll let you be our little BLM box. We'll keep you in. So yeah, that cop's evil. He's racist. Yeah. We'll keep you in that box.
Meanwhile, in the background, they're doubling funding for cops.
Right. Right. Exactly. It's all bullshit. And it starts with government, and it's government schooling. And I think that's why it hasn't grown as much as it can, because when people hear this type of I get what I forget the word, blanking on the word, but like dissidence, people have a visceral reaction to it. It's like a knee-jerk reaction, like, oh wait, no, that's wrong. Like that's right. No. Like, no, government's good. What do you mean? Show me the proof. Where's your facts? Back it up. Because I know the government does this, and cops would never hurt me, and Dr. Fauci wants to save my life, and guns are bad. Ooh. Like it's the typical bullshit, man. It's the things we talk about for years on end, and goddamn, like I just can't believe. Actually, no, I can believe, because I've seen it before. It happened last year, and I'm just seeing it again. The same people who are just holding to this bullshit thing. Like,
I think it's a combination. It's a combination of Trump, and then you have on top of Trump, now you add COVID, and between both of that, it's just broken people's brains.
Dude, when we talked about this yesterday at the bar, it was fucking it was that meme that you were talking about, Kyle Rittenhouse crying on the stand, and he's crying, and he's doing that little kind of fake cry thing he was doing.
Yeah.
And it was like explain to me how you felt when the boy fell into the gorilla's pen. And I'm like, dude, it's Harambe. It was Harambe is what I realized. I traced everything back to Harambe.
Oh, it all does kind of all come back to that, doesn't it?
It's weird, dude.
Yeah,
that's what
it was a real like
blown up.
And it's like, yeah, and even my girl and everyone were like, yeah, holy shit. Now that you think about it,
time travelers, this is your target zone. Okay, if you're a time traveler, Like, go back and save Harambe, okay?
Like you need to defend Harambe.
I don't know though, but if he does save Harambe, then we don't get all the memes. Then there's no meme, right?
Well, we'd be in a parallel world with different memes, but they'd still be dank. You know, I mean,
yeah, but yeah,
it might not be as dark, or we wouldn't have to. We might not have to make as many memes, right? Like you know, because there'd be like just less bullshit in the world. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But man, I'm getting so burnt out on that shit. The same, having to say the same old thing, and then like going like the Fakertarians group. It's just the same. And I take it. There's like 2 or 3 people. There's like 2 or 3 people in the Fakertarians group, and I'll give John Hudak I'll give him credit here. He's like, yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse is a piece of shit, but he's not guilty of whatever. Or he said something like, yeah, he's not guilty of what he did. You know, or what they're accusing him of.
Wow, how brave. Like, okay, how stunning and brave of John.
Right. But at least at the end of the day, he's on the right side. But there's other people, though. There's this piece of shit guy. I'm not gonna say his name. But even he was like, oh man, he was sitting there yelling at because Spike Cohen said he's like, cool, because they dropped the lower charge today. We're recording on Monday. So today is when they dropped that lower charge of a minor possessing a gun, whatever.
Yeah.
And so Spike Cohen made a post saying, well, good, because I'm glad because libertarians don't support gun laws, and I share that everywhere. And then of course this one stupid libertarian, he's just the same old idiot, fucking comments underneath it. Yeah, but we're also against murder. This is such a shit take by you or whatever. Like, just like, fuck you.
We're also against murder. What?
Oh. Like just what
again? That's just like it's just like an NPC that like somehow got in a libertarian like jacket. Like I don't know how that happens.
I'll tell you in the after hours because I don't want to say it now. Yeah. Now I'm on the. LNC. I don't want to say.
So many people were hung up on the 17. Oh, he was 17-year-olds and carrying a rifle around. It's like, oh, what? So wait till he's 18, ship him over to Afghanistan, then he can kill as many people as he wants.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Okay. Get him one
brown
year.
and they don't speak our language or worship our God. So who gives a fuck?
Yeah, if you let a 17-year-old have a gun, what's he? Next thing you know, he might be like shooting pedos and child molesters or rapists and women stranglers and burglars and
might pull off a really good hat trick.
The Kenosha hat trick.
You want to talk about that now? The Kenosha hat trick.
We can save that. We can save that for the after hours. But
Alex is in big trouble for his new team name.
Yeah, new fantasy football team name. Just
wait, isn't that your team name in our league?
Yeah, but I crossed it over. I crossed it over to trigger the L's.
That's amazing.
It's great.
So we'll talk about it later.
But yeah,
and
so what?
Build back better. Build back better.
Oh, apparently, like Hotep Jesus or something made a really funny post today. I don't really follow him much, but someone retweeted it, and it was something that showed a pallet of bricks, and it says because apparently they're calling out 500 National Guards people to protect the streets of Kenosha, if however the verdict goes, if there's rioting, whatever. And apparently there's a pallet of bricks someone put a picture of, and it's probably not real, but they're like, oh, these are already being planted on the street. And they're like, so Hotep Jesus posted something like, oh, don't worry, that's just the beginning of Biden's Building Back Better program.
Yeah, put it. I just posted in the chat, Jared. But yeah, it was. But remember that. Remember during the riots, like it was out in I think it was Houston or Dallas, Texas. There was a guy who was just like, and you saw videos, people posting up on social media, and they're like, what the fuck? These pallet of bricks are just showing up. And then lo and behold, all of a sudden these spontaneous riots start happening. So
what kind of bricks are they giving out? Because I've got like some patio work that I need. Like I might be able to like go out like it's just like right behind him and be like,
yeah, this is it. You can zoom in on that or something or read it. Yeah, I didn't do it any justice. God, I'm terrible at remembering things. I really do have holes in my brain. I feel like Joe Biden. There we go. Slowly.
We should, I forgot about how much fun that could be to just leave pallets of bricks in places. Like maybe this would be an idea for April 15th where we just like leave pallets of bricks in front of IRS buildings, like just totally innocently. I'm not saying what anybody should do with these bricks.
Right.
And all those glass
It would
windows.
be absolutely horrible if you picked up these bricks and
Like just pallets of bricks and already pre-made Molotov cocktails, just ready to go.
In Minecraft, if you were to.
Yes.
Oh God, what a fucking shit show, man! This whole fucking world is just. So apparently,
world.
so tomorrow will probably be the verdict. They'll probably read the verdict tomorrow.
Yeah.
Will there be rioting?
Well, I don't know. What if the jury like they take like several days? Like that's gonna be really tense. Several days if they're in there. Like
they're gonna drag this out.
I'm surprised they didn't like at least give everybody a weekend to like get drunk and shit and kind of forget about it. Like,
I mean, it does seem like it's going to go his way, right?
You would,
from what I'm seeing.
I sure fucking hope so.
Well, has Twitter decided the winner yet? I mean, how does this work these days?
Well, I read you that guy's tweet, man. He's preparing for him to lose, man. He told everyone, to give black people all day off, regardless of the verdict.
You mean if he wins?
He said regardless of the verdict, because it's gonna be hard.
Regardless of the verdict,
it's just gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard on. In fact, it's gonna be hard on everyone. So
we all
taking off the day off.
Just pay all of your black employees. Just pay them to be off. From now on, they don't have to show up because life's so hard. From the Kenosha trial, Kyle Rittenhouse. I guess.
Let's just declare it Kyle Rittenhouse Day. Just give everybody off. Let's give everybody off. It's like Columbus Day, right? I mean,
right? Why not?
He killed some people. Like, he gets a day.
Look for everybody's like support statement that kind of it has like a but in it. Like, I don't think he should have been there, but I still think he's innocent, right? Or like, there's little, you see like a lot of people, even when they're supporting him, like they feel this need to attach a disclaimer, like, oh, I wouldn't have done it that way, but or like,
yeah.
And the fact that people can't just say how they feel about it, like they have to put the disclaimer up. Like I mean, even I did it, but like, I mean, that's just me as a parent. I would just never want my child in that scenario ever. I can imagine letting I'm not coming down on Kyle. I'm coming down on his fucking parent or his mom.
Where's your dad in that situation? Why aren't you eating pedos with your dad?
Well,
that sounds like a good father-son outing.
Bonding,
Yeah, your dad should have been there with you, and mom too. By the looks of her, I feel like she could have taken some out. Like
exactly, the family that kills commies together stays together.
Right. This meme is great.
Oh, you have to describe that for the visually impaired.
Someone
describe Spider-Man meme. And it's Alec Baldwin pointing a gun at what is his name? Digger, the prosecutor. The prosecutor pointing a gun, his AR-15 at people.
See, this is where we're at. This is peak clown world. I use the term clown world came up with a friend of mine who's from the left, and she says, I heard clown world is a far right meme.
Oh yeah.
Like they're already been briefed, right? Oh, clown world equals, whatever,
Yep.
That's what dude, imagine you're like, I don't know, you're coming from the past, like let's not even that far in the past. Let's say last year, like last December, and you come to the future, and the first thing you see is this meme. Like, imagine just how confused you would be. Like what does this mean? What happens? What happened?
But it is like it's just this perfect juxtaposition between two absurd like components of our reality right now.
We got to start documenting memes and having timelines and doing like forensic, basically, so that
forensic memeology.
Yes,
we should. All right, so
because on the look, like there's going to be ancient alien episodes or shows in the future. They're going to unearth these memes or something. They're like,
we should just call a shot.
What are these hieroglyphics? We don't know.
We should have like an after-hours segment where we just make up memes that look like that, random ass memes, and see whoever's closest to it in the next few years.
What happens?
We'll
take like I don't know.
We'll be our own Simpsons, We'll project the future.
Holy shit! Because it's like if you just post memes, so many people would be like, if you haven't been tuned in, you wouldn't get the reference.
No,
I mean, I just scroll through my phone. I'm like, what was that meme about? And I'm like, oh, that's right, that happened.
Right? So, oh yeah.
Yeah, it actually
All right,
encourages me to be more informed. You know, I'm like, I don't understand this. Let me do my research.
Exactly. That's how I get. That's my window to the world, right? Like I see the memes, and then I sort of decipher reality like from them. But a lot of times it is like, oh, I got to actually Google that and see. Like, did he really shit himself? Oh my God, he did. Like,
Did he really sniff that girl?
Right. Well, let's take this on over to our after hours. It's been fun. Let's just keep up the momentum going. Hopefully I'll have a voice, dude. I still don't have a voice. I lost my voice on Saturday night, and I just keep on yelling and just keep losing it. But so we have an after hours podcast after this. If you want to check it out, go to our Patreon, subscribe for as little as $1 a month. You get access to our after hours podcast, which we're going to record right after this, and all of our huge catalog of our past after hours shows. If you don't want to use Patreon, we have other ways to donate to the show. If you go to prlfans.com, and you'll find links to donate to the show. And we also have t-shirts for sale. You go to libertariancountry.com, use the code PRL or PRL Podcast. You get yourself a 10% discount. If you want to get a 20% discount, use the code PRL2 when you spend $50 or more. We are also sponsored by Wheelie's Pharmacy, and you can go to Wheelie's Pharmacy and get all of your CBD needs. And if you use the code PRL10, you can get a 10% discount off that. We're also brought to you by Hidden in Plain Sight by Moral Bob. And until next time, live free
or die.